Here's 5 things I have to do that if I don't do, my life will be worse. Why not twist the fabric of reality so that it serves your specific short-term needs? I mean, that's a great question. Why not do that? Why act morally? If you can get away with something and it brings you closer to something you want, well, why not do it? These are good questions. It's not self-evident. It seems to me tied in with what I just mentioned. It's like you destabilize yourself and things become chaotic. That's not good. And if you don't have a noble aim, then you have nothing but shallow, trivial pleasures, and they don't sustain you. And that's not good because life is so difficult, it's so much suffering, it's so complex. It ends and everyone dies and it's painful. It's like without a noble aim, how can you withstand any of that? You can't. You become desperate, and once you become desperate, things go from bad to worse very rapidly when you become desperate. And so there's the idea of the noble aim. It's not something, it's something that's necessary. It's the bread that people cannot live without, right? That's not physical bread. It's the noble aim. And what is that? It was encapsulated in part in the story of Marduk. It's to pay attention, it's to speak properly, it's to confront chaos, it's to make a better world. It's something like that.
Starting a business is difficult, but if you don't go in with confidence, you may not be able to make it at all. If you can act immorally and get away with it, why not do it? The truth is, dishonesty creates a chaotic life. By creating a noble aim, you can withstand those temptations and create for you a more stable and profitable life. Start by thinking of not only creating a better life for yourself, but for the rest of the world as well. Many people want to know simply how to be a better employee, yet others wonder how they can be a better person. In the end, the people who are looking to change their lives are the ones who consistently outperform the others. If you want to be effective in work, you need to be effective in your life. Align your goals with what you do for work, and you will be motivated to perform at your highest level. If you are miserable and unhappy, find what is valuable to you and let it go. Be willing to sacrifice some of the things you think are important, because those may very well be the things that are holding you back. Even if you think you can't get rid of something in your life that causes you pain, believe that you can. Many times after it's gone, you will find yourself happier, and it may sort itself out in the meantime. Your life is a story. It has a starting point, a middle, and goals at the end. Reflect on your life and decide what is important so that you can make a plan for the future. Put yourself in the mindset that you need to care for yourself as you would another person you love. Use that mindset to better envision your future and create the plan to make yourself successful.
Imagine that you have your employees write out a business plan for their own development, right? So the plan would be, how can I become a better employee? And then you have half your employees do that, and the other half you have write out a different plan, which is, how can I put my life together properly? And then you wait a year and you measure the performance of the two groups. Is the people who make the life plan outperform the people who make the business plan? And that's really quite a stunning finding, really. It's not what you'd expect. And what it means is that if you're going to be effective at work, then you should first of all be effective in your life. And even more importantly, if you have a vision for the direction of your life and your job is serving that purpose, then instantly your job becomes motivating. Because you might be sitting there and thinking, well, why am I doing this repetitive and rather dull task with these people that I'm not particularly interested in, because every job has its maintenance element. It's like, oh yes, it's connected to this goal, and it's like, and those goals are really worthwhile, they're really worthwhile, and so that imbues the act with significance. And that is motivation, technically. People are motivated when they're undertaking an act that's associated with a goal that they desire. Let's say you're miserable and unhappy. Okay, here's a cure. Find what's valuable and let it go. And you're suffering terribly because of it. Well, what do? Maybe you let it go. It's a sacrifice. And the idea is that, well, that'll clear the future for you. Well, very frequently when people are suffering terribly, not always, because sometimes you just suffer stupidly, blindly, and without recourse, You get cancer and then you die. So we have no idea how to deal with that. But sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. And you think, well, I can't let go of, and I've had clients like this. I can't stop communicating with my mother, who phones me 3 times a day, every day of my life, and never says anything that isn't unbelievably critical and demeaning. I can't let that go. That's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it. But unless they're willing to let it go, to sacrifice it, they make no headway whatsoever. And so one of the rules is, if people are impeding your development, you sacrifice your relationship with them. It's a very, very rough rule. I was encouraging them to develop their own stories. So to identify, break their life into epochs, and then to describe the important episodes in each epoch, both positive and negative, and what they might do to reduce the possibility of the negative in the future and to capitalize on the positive, which is the purpose of memory, by the way. And then also to write a plan for the future. We formalized that. So the plan is, first of all, you have to get yourself in the right mindset. And the mindset is, you're trying to take care of yourself like you would care for someone that you cared for. That's a hard mindset to get into because people like their pets better than they like themselves often. And then you have to have a vision. And so the vision would be, well, okay, 3 to 5 years down the road, if your friendship networks were configured properly, what would that look like? If you were pursuing the career that would be appropriate for you and sustaining for you, what would that look like? How are you going to educate yourself? How are you going to take care of yourself mentally and physically? What do you want for an intimate relationship? And how are you going to handle temptations like alcohol and drug abuse? Because they take people down pretty frequently. So all you have to do is think about, okay, what could that be like if you had what you needed, not some wild fantasy?
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.